The messages are isolate the terrorist state of Israel, condemn it, and protect the people of Palestine. And actually prosecute.
Seems to be working better now. I don't know what was going on there before, guys, but
today is the
we're having some technical difficulties this morning. I'm not going to lie.
Genocide happening in Gaza.
Technical difficulties this morning, guys.
Gaza and Palestine.
If they're offended by this, it says more about them than it says about any of us here. If you think that me protesting for human rights of a group of people is offensive towards you, then that is your problem. That is not any of our problem. We are for humans. We don't want to kill humans. This is what we're protesting. We're not protesting anything else. We're not protesting to hate any other group of people.
This is AP News Minute. Israelis mourn the victims of the October 7th attack while visiting the site of the Nova Music Festival. 400 revelers were killed here and dozens taken hostage by Hamas 2 years ago. U.S. President Donald Trump talked trade with Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney at the White House. Trump's comments during the meeting suggest he's willing to let uncertainty over the agreement's future linger. Lawmakers grilled Attorney General Pam Bondi over growing criticism that she's weaponizing the Justice Department. Bondi flatly refused to answer questions time and again as Democrats pressed her on politically charged investigations. And the supermoon lit up skies across North America overnight as the full moon moves closer to Earth in its orbit. As a result, the moon appears larger and brighter. October's supermoon is the first of 3 this year.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award the 2025 Nobel Prize in Physics to John Clark, University of California at Berkeley, USA, Michel Devoret, Yale University and University of California at Santa Barbara, USA, and John Martinis, University of California at Santa Barbara, USA, for the discovery of macroscopic quantum mechanical tunneling and energy quantization in an electric circuit.
Those were people I hadn't heard from for decades.
I practically collapsed. No, I was completely stunned. And I was something that I had never ever dreamed of in my entire life. Michelle was my postdoc, and John was my graduate student at the time.
Yes, that's right.
What we came up with is the idea that you could actually have much larger objects that were able to tunnel.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I was rather preparing myself to not receive the prize. I'm very happy for my wife. I'm happy for my colleagues that, they are all receiving the prize.
My wife came and woke me up. So my wife woke me up a little bit before 6 in the morning. And, she had, heard from you a couple hours earlier, but she wanted to make sure I got enough sleep today, which actually, she understands me that's important. What we did is we built some electrical circuits where the current and voltages actually obey the laws of quantum mechanics in detail. And it really showed that quantum mechanics just wasn't some phenomenon on how atoms work, but it's actually very general. Congratulations. Now it's a huge field. Thousands of scientists are employed trying to build a quantum computer. And, I just think it's great that all this, came out of this basic research.
אני יודעת שכואב לך, ואני לא יכולה לחבק. אני שומעת אותך לוחש לי, בואי אמא, ואני לא יכולה להגן.
אני זוכרת את המקום המדויק שבו עמדתי כשהודיעו לי שנחטפת. את הרגע שבו האדמה נשמטה מתחת לרגליי, וכבר שנתיים כל האור הלך לו, ואתה בחושך רועד שם במנהרות.
כי שוב אוקטובר, ואני מתפללת לא עוד אמהות שכולות, לא עוד ילדים מתים.
I'm not too sure what's going on with my live stream today, but we're not getting recommended out there in the YouTube Shorts vertical live feed anymore, guys. So double tap that screen, like the live stream today, and share it as well, guys. Let's try to get this out there. YouTube seems to be censoring my videos, guys. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome to the Wednesday edition.
The reason why I'm running for clerk of court is because I don't never want what happened to me happen to nobody else. I was ultimately arrested, tried.
Right back. You guys, 1 sec. Give me 1 minute.
However, the jury rejected the death penalty, and I was sentenced to spend the remainder of my life in prison. I told the truth on my case for 28 and some years. But this particular day, in order to get out of prison, the deal was you plead guilty or you risk this judge denying you again. So I took a deal, and I filed an application with the court and the district attorney and my lawyer, and they agreed to vacate my guilty plea. And they just didn't vacate it. They dismissed my indictment with prejudice.
In my opinion, and also the Attorney General's opinion, he is not exonerated. He was convicted of murder and attempted armed robbery. That's a fact. Mr. Duncan has no experience with regard to running the clerk's office.
This is the one that I'm most proud of. Calvin, you're not qualified because you never worked on cases. Well, I worked on hundreds of cases, thousands of cases without any resource, and we got it done. We didn't make excuses because I've seen and I've experienced firsthand when the clerk office does not function properly, what happens to people.
I've been locked up totally over 23 and a half years. I'm working on 24, you know. And we didn't know nothing about medical history, you know. They just assumed that I was guilty because I couldn't explain what happened to her. If I would have known about her medical history and stuff, you know, I might have could have done something, you know. And I didn't know I was autistic, you know, until years and years later, you know. And they started acting like I was guilty and stuff, you know. I never shook her, hit her, or nothing. Like I said, it was bad enough losing my little girl. And then when they accused me of it, I couldn't believe it. I always remember her, always. As long as I'm breathing and stuff, I always remember her. I'm not scared to die, but I'm not ready to die, you know. And I would like to believe God has more for me to do and stuff, you know. And I would like want people to remember me by my perseverance, my persistence, never giving up, you know.
I guess ABBA's always, people are always surprised to know that I love ABBA. I mean, everyone loves ABBA, but see the songwriting that band had, the complexity in their songs. You know, I hold them in a similar regard as I do the Beach Boys, and some people might think that that's blasphemous to say, but see the complexity of those pop songs. Like I still hear things in ABBA music, even Dancing Queen, a song that's been overplayed. You know, there's still little details in that and little subtle nuances and wee melodies, and actually the guys from ABBA, they talk about how they wanted to fill every second of every song with little hooks. And when you do listen to ABBA, there's not a second of a song that doesn't have something that you can whistle. And I went to see their like kind of hologram show, and I felt like I was watching ABBA in the 70s. Like I totally fell for it. The whole place was like, they're there.
दुखदाई घटनाक्रम आज हुआ है, जिसमें कि जो एक प्राइवेट बस है उसके ऊपर पहाड़ी से मलबा गिरा है। बल्लूपुर जो जगह है बट्टी से 2 किलोमीटर के आगे। इस सारे घटनाक्रम में 15 लोगों की अनफॉर्चुनेटली डेथ हुई है, जिनमें कि 9 लोग मेल हैं और 4 लोग जो लेडीज़ हैं और 2 बच्चे हैं जो मेल बच्चे हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त 2 बच्चों को स्थानीय लोगों ने और जो रेस्क्यू टीम पुलिस की है और होमगार्ड्स की है और फायर की है, उन्होंने मिलकर सेव किया।
Sáng nay, sư đoàn không quân 371 đã điều trực thăng để tiếp tế lương thực, thực phẩm cho các hộ dân bị cả là ở các ngõ phố nhỏ có địa hình thấp trũng, như tại một ngõ phố.
Toàn tỉnh có 6 người chết và mất tích, một số người bị thương, nhiều khu vực bị chia cắt, cô lập, gây khó khăn cho đang tiếp cận.
Giữa lúc nguy cấp, các lực lượng đã kịp thời tiếp cận ngôi nhà bị cô lập và đưa gia đình bà ra khỏi vùng nguy hiểm. Nước lũ vẫn không ngừng dâng, dòng chảy mỗi lúc một xiết, những chiến thuyền cứu hộ phải quay lại liên tục để tiếp cận các khu dân.
Dolly Parton's sister has posted an apology on social media for any alarm caused by her appeal for prayers for the country music icon. Frida Parton wrote on Wednesday, "I want to clear something up. I didn't mean to scare anyone or make it sound so serious when asking for prayers for Dolly. She's been a little under the weather, and I simply asked for prayers because I believe so strongly in the power of prayer. It was nothing more than a little sister asking for prayers for her big sister." Dolly Parton recently postponed her first Las Vegas residency in 32 years, citing health challenges. She was scheduled to perform 6 shows at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace for Dolly live in Las Vegas. However, her dates have been moved to September 2026. On Tuesday, Frida Parton had originally posted that she was up all night praying for my sister Dolly, adding, "Many of you know she hasn't been feeling her best lately." Earlier this month, Parton was also unable to attend the announcement of a new ride at her Tennessee theme park Dollywood due to health issues.
On voit bien de ce moment de difficulté, de crise, crée aussi un moment de responsabilité sur lequel j'espère pouvoir trouver un certain nombre de solutions pour les présenter ce soir au chef de l'État. Qu'il me soit permis de terminer par un point qui n'est pas que technique, puisque j'ai pu voir qu'un certain nombre de Françaises et de Français se sont émus. Il se trouve que les membres du gouvernement, lorsqu'ils quittent leurs fonctions, ont le droit à 3 mois d'indemnité lorsqu'ils n'ont pas de revenus par ailleurs. Il est évident que les ministres qui auront été ministres seulement quelques heures n'auront pas le droit à ces indemnités. J'ai décidé de les suspendre. On ne peut pas vouloir faire des économies si on ne maintient pas par ailleurs une règle d'exemplarité et de rigueur dans la suite des autres décisions que j'ai pu prendre.
plants and a small bowl of noodles is nearly all Ababa Mo can provide for her 17-year-old son. She fled Myanmar after soldiers attacked her village and now lives with her son in the Mela refugee camp just over the border in Thailand. More than 107,000 Myanmar refugees live in these camps along the Thai border. Inside Myanmar, millions have been displaced by years of conflict, including members of the Rohingya minority who are trapped in internment camps. For years, foreign aid from the United States helped keep people on both sides of the border alive. But earlier this year, President Donald Trump ordered steep cuts to the U.S. foreign aid program. In the Thai camps, that has meant 85% of residents stopped receiving food rations. She's unable to explain what is happening to her son, who is cognitively closer to a toddler. So far, the family is able to get by thanks to donations from their Christian church. But others, like Mahmoud Karmar, are having to forage for their survival. Karmar has lost 35 pounds in the past few months. His frame now so slight that even his closest friends don't recognize him. Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently reiterated the same response he gave to a House hearing in May after the U.S. gutted its foreign aid program.
Has anyone in the world died because of what Elon Musk did?
Listen,
yes or no, reclaiming my time. If you won't answer, that's a loud answer.
No one has died because of USAID.
The people who have...
But that is a lie, says Mohammed Tahir, who blames the funding cuts for the death of his 2-year-old son, who he says died from malnutrition after food rations to their Myanmar camp stopped in April. In a statement to the AP, the State Department said the U.S. continues to stand with the people of Myanmar. Late last month, it agreed to resume its funding for food rations in the Thai camps through the end of the year. But after that, refugees like Karmar will once again be on their own.
This is the only capital in the world where you can see lions in the wild without leaving the city. It may seem vast, but Nairobi National Park is pretty tiny by conservation standards, and its wildlife migrates in and out of the park through its unfenced southern border. This area used to be open grazing land. Now it's increasingly suburban, but the wildlife still moves through here.
Right now, I'm very close to a front line that exists between wildlife like this lion and where humans live. This lion doesn't know the difference between where the park starts and where it ends. This has led to conflict.
We caught this lioness on camera when she killed our sheep. There have been human deaths too. Daniel Rono lost his brother Simon 6 years ago. Man-eating lions are typically shot by Kenya Wildlife Service, but the lion that Simon was found with was never identified. Only 2,000 lions remain in Kenya, and for those of us who live here, sharing space with them is both a rare privilege and a constant source of worry. Hopefully, Kenya's plans to create a migratory corridor will allow the wildlife here to continue to thrive while keeping humans safe.
Here at our tech house, and there's a lot going around us. This is the premiere of Submerged Beyond the Render, and just a little bit about our tech house. We were actually New York's first home dedicated specifically to digital art and connecting digital artists with audiences in a way that was really never done before. So when you think about listening to a song versus going to a concert, reading a script versus going to the play, this is really a place where digital art comes to life. Artists create work through technology, and it's a specific medium because when you think of art, you think of something that is very organic and free form.
form. And through these digital tools, artists are able to do things that you can't really do just with a paintbrush or pastels. You can see the space is just absolutely alive around us. And using a 3D canvas, you really feel like you're stepping into the work. Our tech house is the place that people can come to experience the art forms that are typically restricted to just your phone screen. And it's transformed in a way that it's for your grandma, it's for your first date, it's for that family activity. There's really just so much to uncover in this space, and our core mission is to educate, empower, and inspire others to engage more with this art form.
אני יודעת שכואב לך, ואני לא יכולה לחבק. אני שומעת אותך לוחש לי, בואי אמא, ואני לא יכולה להגן.
אני זוכרת את המקום המדויק שבו עמדתי כשהודיעו לי שנחטפת. את הרגע שבו האדמה נשמטה מתחת לרגליי, וכבר שנתיים כל האור הלך לו, ואתה בחושך רועד שם במנהרות.
כי שוב אוקטובר, ואני מתפללת, לא עוד אמהות שכולות, לא עוד ילדים מתים. אני כאן לבקש בשמכן, בשם אלה שאיבדו הכל, בשם אלה שעדיין אפשר להציל. אנחנו לא רוצים נקמה, אנחנו רוצים תיקון. הגיע הזמן להחזיר את כולם הביתה. הגיע הזמן שהיום הזה יסתיים ושנחזור לחיות את כולם.
Bon, a ti sɔrɔ butolu bolo bi f'i ka na initiation na bon hali ni nana initiation na initiation bɛɛ tɛ dɛ initiation bɛɛ tɛ initiation kelen kelen dɔw de bɛ yen i bɛ initiation sɔrɔ.
Initiation falennen ni guerre a bɛ kɛlɛ kɔnɔ ni kɛlɛ falenna a fana b'aw ka position falen sisan comme serre bɛ ka bɔ a convoi la ka taa ɲɔgɔn fɛ u tila ka segin convoi la donc o temps kɔnɔna la donc obligatoirement c'est-à-dire initiation bɛ carrément bɛ manquer dɔɔni jamana kɔnɔ donc o de nana ni problème mais an b'a dɔn kɔni a mana kɛ cogo o cogo an ka autorité bɛ solution sɔrɔ a la quoi. Puis nous-mêmes, on est prêts, on est bien, comme avec guerre de fond. Donc, à mon avis, on fait en train de assumer quoi. Donc, on est prêts pour faire ça.
The messages are isolate the terrorist state of Israel, condemn it, and protect the people of Palestine, and actually prosecute the perpetrators and those who are complicit in the genocide.
Today is the mark 2 years of the genocide happening in Gaza. So I'm here to support Gaza and Palestine.
If they're offended by this, it says more about them than it says about any of us here. If you think that me protesting for human rights of a group of people is offensive towards you, then that is your problem. That is not any of our problem. We are for humans. We don't want to kill humans. This is what we're protesting. We're not protesting anything else. We're not protesting to hate any other group of people.
Before recognizing the state of Palestine, I think what's most important is to sanction Israel and to put a stop to what they're doing, first and foremost. So because the government's not doing that.
History will remember, and we're not going to forget, and we're not going to forgive, and you can do all these things, but money and power is not forever, and it's going to pass. And when it passes, you will have to pay the cost of what you've done, and history will not forgive.
Tunggu suatu saat kalian akan merdeka dan Indonesia menjadi salah satu negara pendukung kemerdekaan kalian.
Is it the White House's position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. President, why do you say some federal workers should not get their back pay? Why do you say some?
Well, you're going to have to figure that out, okay? Ask the Democrats that question.
Mr. President, just to follow up there, I mean, the law says that when the government is reopened, that workers will receive their back pay. So are you going to defy the law there, or what?
I follow the law, and what the law says is correct, and I follow the law. I always.
So we concluded what I think was a successful, positive, substantive conversation with President Trump on trade issues, on a number of other international issues. But the focus very much today, both in the Oval Office conversation and then again in the lunch in the cabinet room, was on the trading relationship. The conversation, as I said, was more detailed than previous discussions. It concluded with the President and the Prime Minister directing us, me and my colleagues, and the President, his cabinet secretaries who were there, Ambassador Greer, Secretary Lutnick, and others, to continue the conversation and to quickly land deals that will bring, we think, greater certainty in areas where the principal areas would be steel and aluminum and energy. So these sectors are amongst the ones that have faced the most significant challenges from the 232 tariffs. And in the conversation today, we talked about ways to quickly arrive at a deal that will bring, we hope, a better circumstance to both countries in these sectors of significant importance. That would be obviously the first step that we hope to conclude quickly in what would then be a conversation that would allow us to make progress on other sectors as well.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award the 2025 Nobel Prize in Physics to John Clark, University of California at Berkeley, USA, Michel Devoré, Yale University and University of California at Santa Barbara, USA, and John Martinez, University of California at Santa Barbara, USA, for the discovery of macroscopic quantum mechanical tunneling and energy quantization in an electric circuit.
But from people I hadn't heard from for decades. I practically collapsed. No, I was completely stunned. And I was something that I had never ever dreamed of in my entire life. Michelle was my postdoc, and John was my graduate student at the time. Yes, that's right. What we came up with is the idea that you could actually have much larger objects that were able to tunnel. Oh, thank you so much.
I was rather preparing myself to not receive the prize. I'm very happy for my wife, I'm happy for my colleagues that, they are all receiving the prize.
My wife came woke me up. So my wife woke me up a little bit before 6 in the morning, and, she had, heard from you a couple hours earlier, but she wanted to make sure I got enough sleep today, which actually, she understands me that's important. What we did is we built some electrical circuits where the current and voltages actually obey the laws of quantum mechanics in detail. And it really showed that quantum mechanics just wasn't some phenomenon on how atoms work, but it's actually very general. Congratulations. Now it's a huge field. Thousands of scientists are employed trying to build a quantum computer. And, I just think it's great that all this, came out of this basic research.
To the 2020
So once you're hired and you're part of our team and we feel comfortable with you and we feel like you're one of us, we'll go and we'll initiate scare school. And that's when we bring them in and we just teach them how to scare safely, how to have fun while you're scaring, and the psychology of a scare.
Scare School is a fun and crazy way to interact with actors and teach them techniques that they didn't know they needed.
You know what? Everybody wants to scare somebody, but yet you have to find out if they can. And that's really what the Scare School is all about. Scare School really comes down to the psychology of fear. Fear is not an accident. Fear is an art.
It's therapeutic. The acting part is amazing. Every day, you never really think that you can be something else for a couple hours and scare people. But then when you really actually get to do that, it's so entertaining, it's so fulfilling.
They come here to be scared. It's Halloween. It's fun. We are to be ugly and scary and bloody.
You get to scream, you get to make a character. It's basically a job that you get to see a different side of yourself that you didn't think you would see.
How scared do people get? You know what? We don't really count the tally number of how many people are going through. What we do count is the people that don't make it through. Actually, last year, we broke our 10,000 wimps over the last 2.5 decades. That is 10,000 people that purchased a ticket at the front door and didn't make it out the normal exit.
7:08 this evening, our units were dispatched to a vehicle accident with extrication. In the notes, it stated that there was a helicopter that had crashed on US 50. The first engine got on scene and recognized that there were three crew members from a Reach helicopter that had gone down on the freeway. There were no patients that they were transporting at that particular point. They had just offloaded a patient at UC Davis and were flying back. There was one female who was trapped. At that point, there was no truck on scene for extrication tools, just a fire engine. So that captain quickly sequestered the help of multiple civilians to come over and lift this helicopter off of that victim. There was no active flames. There was a large column of smoke that initially came out of that helicopter from video that we have seen, but no fire hazard at that point.
Queremos primero rendir un homenaje a las víctimas del 7 de octubre que todavía quedan secuestrados y exigimos la pronta recuperación incondicional de todos los secuestrados, donde hay 4 argentinos.
What's up, folks? What's up? Yeah, I'm just doing some troubleshooting here, Jack.
Lo que está ocurriendo ahora es que, sobre todo a partir de la pandemia, ya viene de antes, ya, pero sobre todo a partir de la pandemia, hay una gran extensión de la minería ilegal porque en
let's see. Troubleshooting here, guys. Troubleshooting here. Just troubleshooting here, folks. Troubleshooting here.